So the temperature has dropped finally in South Korea. It has felt like summer has lasted forever. Even until mid-September, the temperature was reaching 33 degrees with high humidity. And then, out of nowhere, the temperature dropped by 10 degrees, and just like that, summer was over. And to tell you the truth, I've not taken a single photo for a couple of months now. I've done some work-related projects, but photos just for me, for the enjoyment of photography, I have done nothing. And the heat has been one component of that. It has been too hot. I mean, the feeling of needing a shower the moment you step out of the house, but the thought of walking around for hours in that kind of heat has definitely put me off reaching for my camera. And then I realized it wasn't just that the heat was keeping me inside, but that the heat had drained me of any creativity and it had put me into a creative rut. I wasn't feeling inspired to go out and shoot or coming up with any new ideas at all, really. And that's why as soon as the temperature had dropped, that I knew I must get back out there with my camera to help this issue. So my alarm was set for 5 a.m. today, and I wanted to capture the sunrise and the early morning wildlife activity around the lakes and streams. I actually don't have the correct lens for wildlife photography, but it doesn't matter. My portfolio is full of neon city streets, but it's not the only photography that I do. I often, when it's not baking hot of course, just go and take photos of whatever. Most never really see the light of day, but they don't need to. Getting into a rut, creatively speaking, is tough. You're looking at your camera and the thought of going outside with it just fills you more with a reluctance than excitement because you're just fresh out of ideas and nothing seems to be inspiring you. The first time it happened to me, I was doing strictly night photography only. I was going out very frequently and then my sessions started to taper, and before I knew it, I wasn't going out at all. It was the first time I had been in a creative rut, so I didn't really understand what was happening at first. But then it clicked. It wasn't as if I stopped enjoying photography, I was just bored of shooting the same scenes over and over, and I needed to fix that. So I looked at what else I could do. I started doing all kinds of photography, from boxing to landscape, and I just got out there with my camera. And when the next opportunity came along to do night street photography, I had no problem getting out. I just needed to keep things fresh and mix it up a little. And what you're doing here is you're building that momentum back up again, and I think that is the key. I'm here doing one shoot by the lake, and this will lead me to get out and shoot at another location, and it will keep going. And this momentum will help me get back up to full speed, and that may end up tapering off again next summer. Hopefully next year the height of summer lasts just for August like usual, but this gradual change is the best way to go about it. I don't believe in trying to force a change. Creativity is such a hard thing, if not impossible, to switch on, and it comes to you at the most unexpected of times, and sometimes those ideas, they drip slowly into your mind, and other times you hit that flow state and you get a torrent of ideas, so many actually that you can't discern one from the other. You just get this rush of excitement, and when that does happen, a pen and a piece of paper helps. Just write down frantically everything that comes to mind. It is a lot of fun. One way to inspire a rush of creative ideas that works for me is to just go out on a walk. The act of physically moving and being outside just helps frees up the mind a little, and without forcing myself to think creatively, I find that ideas start to bubble to the surface, and by the time I get home, I've got a few ideas to write down. And it's going out on shoots like this too. I'm walking and actively doing photography, and so other photography ideas come to me. I know the walking method works for a lot of people, but you may have other methods. But mostly it's getting in an environment that just allows your mind to wander. Don't be frustrated if you return from your walk and you're still no closer to knowing what to do next. I mean, I've been there before. Patience is key, and realizing it's a process. So along with trying different genres of photography and going out on walks, the other thing that works is just a whole new change of environment and scenery. Being somewhere for the first time, a place that you're excited to be in, just feels like such an easy way to get that creativity flowing again. You can also ask yourself some questions. It's something that I tend to do on these walks, such as, what was the last shoot that I really enjoyed? Where was I? Why was it so good? Another question you can ask yourself is, what is my portfolio missing? How would I like my portfolio to look in 6 months' time? Because when I asked those questions, I really wanted more portraiture work in my portfolio. So I went down that route for a time, and I love the work that I did, with more to come in the future. So find questions that help you reflect and also guide you into considering what direction you may want to head in. You may have some friends or other people that you know that do similar work to you. Actually, you don't need to find just a photographer that does what you do. Look towards any creative people in your life. Musicians, artists, writers, we are all creatives at the end of the day, and speaking to those people may help inspire ideas. Your conversations may lead to you bouncing ideas off of one another, which could be a really useful process. But I've had this break now from personal projects, and this session out by the streams and lake first thing in the morning has certainly got me thinking clearly again. Breaks are never a bad thing, and in fact, taking a bit of time off to spend doing something else stops you from getting burnt out. I don't think having a creative rut is the same as getting burnt out. Feeling burnt out feels wholly different from struggling to come up with ideas for a time, though it can be a symptom. It's a topic for another video, but in short to know, if you're just in a creative rut rather than burnt out, it's that the feeling of burnt out means you're starting to lose all love for photography, and you no longer want to do or care about photography. If you're out there taking your camera on walks or you're hoping to get new ideas, you're just in a bit of a rut, not burnt out. But overall, first I think you need to acknowledge the creative rut and then take a step back and have a break. And during that break, take some time for yourself, try other things, and spend time with other hobbies and people that will allow those creative ideas to come back, because they can't be forced. And when you're ready, start to build that momentum back again. Just don't panic that the rut has come. It's perfectly normal. We can't be at 100% all the time, because that would be exhausting. So if you do find yourself in that creative rut, fear not, you will bounce back soon. And I'll be back again too with some more Luminar Neo tips, tricks and tutorials. So I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.